Every single day, people take unwanted or unused items to thrift and antique stores across the country. But as the saying goes, one man's trash is another man's treasure, and we're here to prove it. Identify valuable things before you throw them away. Join us as we show and tell of treasures found and sold by a full-time reseller with the hopes of helping you find some treasures of your own. Welcome to the What's Sold podcast.
Once again, we've just pontificated away.
All right, it's time to start. Time to start the episode now.
That's right. I forgot to hit record. Hey, can you tell us what you sold this week?
Yeah, I've sold a lot of things. The floor underneath of me is littered with stuff that I have paid for the labels. I just haven't put it in the packaging yet. But I've selected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things today, and the reason I picked these is not because they're the most valuable things that I've sold, but because they're all things that most people probably would see and think, that's not worth anything. Like, that's the kind of thing I would just throw away, right? Okay, so the first thing is this little vintage, it's just a little cardboard box, and it says Keen Cutter pocket knives. So it's an old box that would have held a few smaller folding pocket knives. Okay, it's empty. It has no pocket knives in it. It's just the little box. And this box sold for $32.
Whoa, why?
Somebody collects vintage. Maybe they collect things that are just from Keen Cutter. Maybe they collect cutlery from St. Louis, which is where this was made. Maybe they have some Keen Cutter pocket knives, and they want to be able to put them in an original package to increase the value of the collection.
How old is that box?
I'm looking to see if there's a date on it. I don't actually know. I would have to do a little bit of research, but my guess is this is from, maybe the 1920s, 1930s, something like that.
All the Keen collectors out there right now are going, Matt, that's a Keen Cutter 73.
Exactly.
That's the infamous Keen Cutter 73.
That's right. And I didn't even know.
It's been missing for 90
worth
years.
$10,000. Right. Okay, the next thing is this little, and maybe you even seen things like this, Brandon. It's this little brass. It's shaped like almost like a miniature goblet, or it's like a candle holder.
Yeah, it's like a goblet, right? Yeah.
It's but it's small. It's brass. On the bottom says India. And so thrift stores, Goodwills are littered with these. I mean, across the country, littered with these made in India brass tabletop items. They can be spoons and forks, they can be goblets, they can be candle holders, they can be pitchers, they can be gravy boats, they can be little genie lamp looking things, all kinds of stuff. And usually they're only selling, if it's a local kind of tiny thrift shop, you could maybe get it for 10 cents, some of these things. If it's a Goodwill, it's probably going to be $2 or $3. But these things sell. This little thing sold for $14. I probably got it in a lot. I've had it a while. Probably got it in a lot. I don't think I have anything in it anymore. And I checked on eBay just before getting on here to talk about it, and there was a collection of 50 things like this. They're all kind of different shapes, different sizes, but there were 50 pieces, right? And it sold for $400. So do the math on that. If you were paying, $3 a piece or something like that, and you had 50. That's what is that? That's $150, right? That you spent. You could turn that $150 into $400. If you're paying 10 cents a piece for them, wait until you have 20 or 30, and then sell it. You're maybe 30 or 40 bucks in, sell it for $200, $250. These things are everywhere. Now, I don't know why people are buying these. I don't know if they can reuse this brass somehow.
Because everybody needs a good gravy boat, Matt.
I don't know, I guess, yeah. You polish it up. It looks okay, but these were tourist items. These were little knickknacks. These were made, or these were like export items sent to the U.S. But if you see these little brass things, almost certainly, if you turn that thing upside down, it's either going to be in the metal, or oftentimes there's a little sticker that says "Made in India" or you'll see the outline where a sticker used to be, because there's some of that residue from the glue is still there, and it was a "Made in India" sticker. That's what it was. So they are still selling. Don't pitch that. Don't say, nobody wants that. Nobody cares. Most people just donate it, right? They donate it to the Goodwill, and that's where someone like me buys it. Okay, next up are these two old, probably 60s between the 50s and 60s, little knives. One is just almost looks like a little butter knife, like a spreader type of a knife,
Yeah.
but it looks like horn, like an antler, but it's not. It's actually a resin, like a plastic that was made to look like that. But then the other one, which was at one time a folding knife, is made of antler, the handle, but it's so rusted and bound up that you can't even fold it anymore. The tip on it is a little bit broken, and it has the remnants of like white paint where someone has used this to kind of do some sort of job that involved paint. The point is, they don't fold. They're not good condition. They're old. This is the kind of thing that it's not sharp, probably just pitch in the trash. But these two sold for $28.
Nice.
It's the kind of thing you could find in a drawer in a family member or a grandparent's, garage. And they don't care. It's been in there. No one's using it anymore. Turn that into money. Another one is an old lock. This says B&O department. B&O, it's a Yale lock, but it says B&O CTRY division. It's a Yale lock, but this is a railroad lock. It would have been used in the rail yard. It doesn't even have a key. It's brass, but it's terribly scratched and dinged up. I put this up for $75, and it sold the day I put it up, which means probably put it up for too little. Should have put it up for a little bit more. But old locks that are locked, you can't open, and you don't have the key, it doesn't mean they're worthless. The type of lock matters, but it could be worth quite a bit of money. So don't pitch those, don't donate them. Locks are one of those categories that has a really high sell-through rate on eBay. They sell, there's a lot for sale, but a lot of the ones that are available sell every month.
Okay.
Another set of items is a small lot, and these are tiny little hair pins that are from like the Victorian era, so late 1800s, early 1900s. They were just made to stick in your hair, just to hold your hair back on the side or wherever. They're gold filled, but these three together probably weigh 4 grams or less. But these three sold for $30.
Nice.
And it's kind of thing where no one really wears this anymore. This is probably something that a person collects, or they do something with them, polish them up, jewelry. It's not enough to really scrap it and get gold out of it. People who do that buy them in larger quantities. But something like that, it still has value, even if it's old and no one's using that kind of thing. Last one up here is a small watch, like a wristwatch. It's older, and it features Mickey Mouse, and the hands are his arms and hands. And so as the clock moves, his hands and fingers point to the time. This particular one has no wristband. It's in bad shape. The little second hand at the bottom is missing. It's either fallen off inside of there or it's completely gone. And it also doesn't wind. It's an automatic, but it doesn't work. The point is, this has got a lot of things against it. It's the kind of thing that you would probably see and say, kind of interesting, but nobody will want that. I don't even donate it. It doesn't work. Someone paid $35 for this. They're going to work on it. They're going to fix it. They're going to put a band on it. They're going to clean it up, and they're going to either keep it as a collector item or they're going to resell it. I almost guarantee you.
Yeah, I can imagine that if you made that thing work again, put a nice band on it, it would be worth a fair amount of money.
Sure.
That's a cool
You can know
watch.
that it does, because if you were to look that same one up and look at sold items, they have sold ones in working condition and good condition for more money. I just don't personally repair wristwatches. I just don't have the skill set or the tools to do that. So whenever I buy and sell, and I sell a lot of watches, pocket watches and wristwatches, if it doesn't work or I'm not confident that it works well, I put untested, or I put for parts of repair only. If I wind an automatic and it's running, I'll say it's running. However, I have not tested its accuracy over time. So I want people to know that I'm not trying to mislead them if they get it and say, yeah, it works, but it's an hour, every 6 hours it gets off by 15 minutes. Well, I don't have the time to sit and watch dozens of watches and keep track of that kind of thing. So I just put it up and I say untested. Or
hey, well, I want to ask you this question. I keep forgetting to ask you this, but it sort of falls into that category of not working, untested. We have an Instapot that I know has a heating element that went bad, and I looked for the heating element, and I think you can buy them out there, but I'm like, man, I just bought a new Instapot, right?
okay,
But it was like $100 we bought it. It's like 2 years old. Is that something that you would put up on eBay to sell, or you just donate it?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. Like if you got on and said, for parts or heating element just went out, then someone else might have one that the heating element works, but the switch or doesn't work, or maybe the lid doesn't seal correctly anymore, so it doesn't hold that pressure. So yeah, I mean, they might just say, oh, okay, well, I can pay $20 for this and then go pay $20 for, or $10 for a heating element and then put it together. I mean, that could apply to anything. If you have something like an old radio or an old something and you plug it in, or you turn the switch, or it's an old lamp and it's got the really old, you're like, it doesn't work. Well, those can be rewired. So
right.
You can put a new cord in that. You can put a lot of stuff can be fixed. A lot of people out there buy things damaged because they have the skill set to fix it. They know it'll be worth more, and it's a hobby. It's fun for them. So yeah, definitely you can sell things that are damaged.
Like our friend Dave, who fixes watches, is going to fix my pocket watch.
Yeah, he fixes pocket watches for me.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and he just loves doing it. He does. It's something really fascinating to him. All right, well, we are up against time. I don't know how we did it, but somehow we did it.
Mm-hmm.
We managed to fill up
long-winded,
more than 45 minutes, long-winded. We'll try to edit a lot of myself out. But anyway, remember, folks, we really appreciate you listening. If you skip the first part, just know that we care about you. We want everybody to do well. Remember to follow, like, and subscribe if you get a chance. Tell a friend. Helps us out. Right? I mean, we're trying to grow this show. We are growing, but we need your help. So do us a solid. Let somebody know if you enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, then, just stop listening. But if you do enjoy it, tell somebody else. And otherwise, we will be back with a brand new show next week. Any last thoughts, Matt?
Yeah. When you're thinking about whether or not you should write a review or send an email or something, I want you to just picture me laying in bed at night with just like tears kind of in the corner of my eyes. And I'm kind of like sniffing and just wishing you would commit.
Y'all
you
gotta
would pull
help
the
out
trigger
Cousin
on that.
Rusty.
That's
Cousin
right.
Rusty's in need. He's in need out there, brothers and sisters.
That's
he
right.
needs your help.
Don't make me cry, people.
Don't make Cousin Rusty cry. Anyway, everybody have a great week. We'll be back with a brand new show next week. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you soon.